My dear Misfortune, I hope this letter finds you well. I did so enjoy our little discussion of the work of Guy de Mauvasseur the last time we met. I would like to cordially invite you to an intimate gathering of mine on the evening of the 27th. We will be celebrating my recent acquisition of a rather unique historical property, and I think you are just the one to properly appreciate it. I look forward to your RSVP in the affirmative. Most sincerely yours, Prince Titanico.
It was at an art auction, I think, that I first met Prince Titanico. He seemed to think the world of himself. I, quite frankly, thought him a bit of a bore. But if I only accepted social invitations from people I thoroughly approved, I wouldn't dine out very often. I stepped onto the curb from my limo and laid eyes on the place for the first time. Gothic gargoyles loomed ominously over the old house, and creeping vines wound their way up its walls, as though trying to strangle it. The prince had been right. It really was to my taste.
Good evening, ma'am. May I have your name?
Ugh, this hulking thug, on the other hand, not so much. Fortune. Miss Fortune.
Is the miss a first name or a title, ma'am?
Oh, I like to leave that to the imagination. Now you must be the butler, so why don't you buttle on and show me inside? The evening is a bit damp, I dare say.
No, ma'am. I'm not a butler. Just a valet. My name is Klops.
Oh my, what a terrible shame. Well, butler, or valet, you do open doors, don't you?
Yes, ma'am. Right this way.
From the cobwebs in the corners and the dust on the railings, it was obvious that the house had been abandoned for some time. Some high society guests might have been insulted to be invited to a venue in such ill repair, but it didn't bother me. I realized that the house had been preserved as it was for the effect.
Misfortune has arrived.
Ah, Misfortune, good evening. There are refreshments on the side table. Please do help yourself.
Why, thank you. So, are you the butler? Or are you going to tell me you're just, I don't know, the concierge?
Butler? No. I'm not a servant. I am a close friend and trusted advisor to our dear prince. The Grand Magus of his court, if you will. My name is Horatio.
Charmed, I'm sure.
My dear Misfortune, how are you, darling? It's so good to see you again.
Comtesse de Clecitra. Yes, it's been just ages, hasn't it? I should have known you'd be here. You're never one to miss an event on the social circuit.
I dare say I needed something to cheer me up after my late husband's funeral, and an evening like this is just the thing.
Let me see. When exactly was it that we last saw each other? It must have been at the Emperor's ball.
Heavens, yes! Wasn't that quite the affair? Were you there when one of the waiters spilled a tray of champagne all over Duchess Reese's dress?
Oh, yes. That was positively scrumptious, wasn't it? I mean, a shame about the dress, of course. I heard she had it made just for the ball. Such a pity.
Well, given how many people come out nowadays, it was bound to happen to someone. I even heard the poor servant say he was sure he felt someone in the crowd give him a little shove. Can you imagine?
Surely not. These are high lords and ladies we're talking about. No doubt the man is just making excuses for his clumsiness.
You're probably right. Just an unlucky accident, I'm sure.
Of course. I was so sorry to hear about your husband. This is your 4th time a widow, if I'm not mistaken.
Quite so. And for you, 9, I believe?
Ah, yes. They just keep dropping dead, the poor dears. It's so hard to find a good man with stamina these days.
Oh my, should I be worried? Perhaps you've been cursed.
Me? Cursed? Nonsense. I seem to be doing just fine. But maybe I am bad luck.
Ah, Misfortune, welcome. I am so delighted that you could come. I trust Horatio has been keeping you entertained.
Oh, yes. La Comtesse and I were just scandalizing your court jester. Or was he a wizard? In any case, scandalizing him with our intimate marriage details.
Of course you were. So tell me, what do you think of the house? I must admit, when I first came into this little period piece, I immediately thought of you.
It seems melancholy, mysterious, and maybe just a little macabre. So yes, I quite like it so far.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear it. I will take you all on a more detailed tour shortly, but we are still waiting for more guests to arrive. And what timing! Here they are now.
Miss Charisse and Miss Leah have arrived, sir.
Is that the Charisse? The industrial heiress? The one who's been throwing all those charity balls ever since she came into her fortune?
The very same.
My beautiful Charisse, please come in. Without you, this place is dark and drab, but your radiance rekindles it anew.
You're too kind.
Oh my! I had heard she was seeing someone, but I never imagined it was him.
Indeed. This party just got a little more interesting.
And this must be Leah, the girlhood friend of whom you speak so very highly.
Yeah, nice place you got here. If you like entertaining dead people.
Dead people? Yeah, I assure you, fair lady, you are perfectly safe here.
I think it was a critique of the decor, not of our safety.
Leah doesn't mean it. It's a lovely house. Really.
On the contrary, Miss Leah may be more right than she knows. Until recently, this mansion was the property of the Lee family. Perhaps you know of them.
Oh yes, who doesn't? A distinguished family of the nobility with a respected pedigree and a long history of public service and political influence.
So, short version, some stuffy old rich people.
Almost all of the estates out here, away from the city, were owned by old families. But many have had to sell over the years. It must be a bit sad for them, leaving all that history behind.
Indeed, and especially so for the Lees. Theirs is a tale of tragedy, and it ends as they so often do, in sorrow and blood. Come, the house itself will tell its share of the tale. This is the smoking room. Did the Lee family use this as a quiet place to relax after their evening meals, I wonder? Or was this the proverbial smoke-filled room where secret deals would be struck and the fates of nations decided?
My attention was drawn to a curio cabinet on one side of the room. Some of the items within rather struck my fancy. This cabinet, are these items originals?
I believe so. I have endeavored to change as little as possible about the house since acquiring it. The Lees were well known as eclectic collectors.
They also say that sorcery ran strongly in the Lee family, you know.
Great. As if we didn't have enough reason to think this place was owned by a bunch of creepers.
Come now, surely a smart little girl like you doesn't put any stock in old superstitions.
Magic and superstitions, no. Weird and creepy people, on the other hand, are plenty real.
No need to worry, young lady. You're among good company here.
We will have time to look around in greater detail later, I assure you. For the moment, follow me, if you would. They called this the king bedroom, home to the master of the house. Now, it is as you see it, empty and forlorn, as it waits for a new master to take the place of the old.
It feels so cold.
Milady, I can call for Klops to bring you a sweater.
And while he's at it, perhaps also a textbook on metaphorical versus literal language.
You are so kind, but I'm fine. It's just the atmosphere of this place.
The Lees were among our most powerful families before the Imperial Revolution. But like most of the old guard at the time, they chose the losing side. In many ways, the family never recovered.
They certainly never recovered financially at the very least. Thus the sale of this very house.
It's almost as if old money runs out if you're not smart with it. Who'd have thought?
Quite so. But at least the house has gone to those who can appreciate its history. This is the Queen bedroom, and it has a fascinating story. It is said that the famous senator Lamika Lee herself met her end in this very room during the final days of the revolution.
Yeah, I remember learning about that. She was one of the staunchest supporters of the Old Republic.
And she was killed here? In her own bedroom? That's so terrible.
By all accounts, she did not go down without a fight. Revolutionary soldiers had stormed the grounds, but none who came in here survived.
They even say that she sustained herself for days on the blood of the soldiers who kept coming for her.
Well, points for ingenuity. I'll grant her that.
But that was all a long time ago. There wouldn't still be any blood left here now, or anything.
Really? With all the red, it's rather difficult to say, isn't it? Who knows how much of it might have soaked into the floor, the walls, the bed.
You are right, my darling Charisse. It is all long past. A good tale for a night of ghost stories, perhaps. But thankfully, these are happier times.